blue snowball. Okay. That would be why I couldn't hear you. Somebody somebody say hello or something.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
All right.
Hello.
Get closer.
Hi.
Hello.
All right.
Or something.
All right. Yet more.
Do
Good.
we have to have our cameras on for this?
You do not have to, no. It's a good question, though.
Okay. Because I'm getting off from work and I look so yeah. Okay.
Well, let's put it this way. As you can see, I set the bar exceedingly low. I'll keep my camera on, but that's okay. If you don't feel comfortable with it, I am fine with that. What I do traditionally ask, though, is if you don't have your camera on and if you don't choose to participate verbally, do put a few things in the chat. So go down to the chat there at the bottom and just say hello, kind of proof that you're here, not a bot, not a login and walk out kind of thing. So it's not really a problem with the adults. It's more a problem with the teenagers, but you know. All right.
Somebody else is having issues, but you're kind of cutting in and out.
I am?
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I thought that was just me.
Yeah.
Thought my internet was about to poop out on me.
Okay. That would be why. Okay, can you hear me more clearly now? Or is it still cutting in and out?
Yes.
Better.
Better, but not great, huh? How about now? Can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yay, the 16-year-old has messed with my cords. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started because it's 3 minutes after. If anybody isn't in, it's not a problem. We can let them in at some point. Now, I am going to record this from here forward. Unless anybody has an issue with that, that way I can post it to the class. That way, anything we talk about can be posted for anybody who's not here. All right. Additionally, that allows me to take attendance as well. Now, this is an online live class. So the online live class means that we have a weekly time that we actually meet together live each week and do whatever it is we need to do for the class. I don't know that we will necessarily be using this time every single week. We will be initially until we kind of get rolling. Additionally, it may be one of those things that at some point I allow you to determine whether you need to be present or not. But at least for now, we're going to need to require. There we go. All right, something is still a little wonky. Oh, well. Okay, with that in mind, let's go ahead and let's go to the class. So, can everybody see Canvas up on my screen? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay. So with that in mind, we will start the class. So you guys need to do or have done everything in this first getting started component. That means you need to make sure that you're on, you watch the introduction, because this introduction does explain to you all of the different parts of the class. Additionally, you have a syllabus. The syllabus includes all the key information you may need. It's also something you're probably going to want to print out, because any class that you take, if you try to take this and take it somewhere else, you want to have all of the information that what was in the class, what was the textbook used, what were the goals covered, yada, 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 so that if any other school wants you to prove that you have done something, you can. Now, what is your grade? Your grade is made up of about 60 points per week. You have 10 points for Delta Math. That is the practice component of the class. You have 10 points for Edpuzzle. That is the instructional portion of the class. You have 10 points for the discussion for each week. And then you have 30 points of test. So that's a total of 60 points. So how are my grades put together? 10, 10, 10, 30. Now, obviously, a lot of chapters are 2 weeks long. So, well, what would the points values for that be? Well, 10 and 10, 10 and 10, 10 and 10, 30, 30. So it stays the same percentage and it stays the same ratio, regardless of how many weeks the session runs. So that's what you have to do to figure out for your grade. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. How do you get started in Delta Math? This is how you sign in. This is how you add a teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, I've already had a couple folks that have had a little trouble with this. Here's your teacher code, 315708, and the class, which is Math 098, Spring 21. Can everybody see that code and the name of the class?
Yes.
All right, now we know where to find it. Make sure everybody's in the right spot. Same thing for moving over to Edpuzzle. Here's how to get into Edpuzzle. There's the code for your Edpuzzle class. So for your Edpuzzle class, that's what it is. So make sure you're signing in as your own. Again, for some reason, sometimes, oh, Allison Hyde is showing up as her husband's name. Fair enough. Okay. For some reason, I have kids sign in the wrong class. I don't understand. But that's okay. This is how to do the Canvas discussions. Those are going to be the parts for each week. Here's Zoom. You guys are already on. Here's some tips for using Zoom. You don't have to do those. You can. All right. Now, let's talk about handwritten submissions and work. The thing about it is we are going to have, I think, maybe one, maybe two handwritten assignments that you have to turn in. The reason I still include this component is because if we have any technical issues, or if I have somebody who has a need other than what would be normally part of the class, we can do handwritten submissions. And so there is the Apple version of this. Here is the or Apple and Android version of each of those. So that brings us all the way through the getting started stuff. Honestly, at this point, you probably ought to be done with this stuff. Okay? Probably ought to be done with this stuff. Now, the other thing that I need to encourage you guys to do is to check your email regularly. I think I've sent about 3 emails out. So thus far, the 8 minutes of stuff that we have done thus far is a lot like the video I sent out, or the video that was attended by 1 or 2 or 3 of you. So I have that stuff that I put in the email on a regular basis to remind you of deadlines, or remind you of things that are coming up. So please, please, please check your Canvas inbox and or your Richland email. So make sure you're doing that on a regular basis. You are required to do so. Thank you very much. Okay, so now, how does the class work? Well, the next piece is some basic skills. Only if some folks in this class haven't been in math class for very long or for a long time, and they like having that as an option. 1 second, folks. Okay, sorry, my wife has called me and she forgets that I have class right now. So that got turned over to the 16-year-old. All right, with that in mind, let's go into the actual modules, the actual components of the class. So you'll notice everything is arranged basically in 2-week increments. And I've literally listed which increments those are. I have even put what dates each of these goes from. So for example, this is due by January 31st. It is only the 20th. So you have 11 days. Technically, classes started on the
I don't
14th.
know if I don't know if I'm the only one, but I can't see your screen anymore.
Oh, thank you,
I
Amaya.
don't see it either.
No, because I
Me
didn't
neither.
share it again. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, better?
Yeah.
Can you see the
Yeah.
screen now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so here's all the sets of weeks. They are listed there. You'll notice the first set is not due until January 31st. It is only the 20th. So you have more than enough time to accomplish the first set of modules. We will meet again next Wednesday, and the link should be the same exact link as you used for today. It's also listed right underneath the Zoom week 2. It's right there. So you should always be able to find the link. As we go through this, you'll see which discussion is due when. Well, January 14th to 24th, 24th to 31st, etc. Those are the things that you have to do when you have to do them. By the 31st, you need to have everything in this module done. Now, here's the reality. You guys are mostly adults, which also means sometimes adult things happen and life happens. If that is the case for you, I generally am fairly flexible, but what I need from you is the same thing we would expect in any job, any class, anything at all. Email me, let me know, ask permission rather than forgiveness, and I'll be happy to work with you, okay? But in the first 2 versions of this class, over the summer semester and over the fall, we had everything due all at the end, or everything due halfway, then at the end. And honestly, there are just some students that can't handle that. And so you get behind, it piles up on you, you get overwhelmed. So that's why we've gone to a 2-week format. I don't know that I'm going to stick real specific to 2-week format, but you shouldn't be a lot behind. Okay. If you're a lot behind, or if you have a life situation that comes up, again, communication is the key and we can get it sorted out. Okay. That's my only request, is that we please try to stay up on stuff. Now, how does the class actually work? How do I know what I have to do? How do I know what I need to get done? Very easy. First thing right here, slide deck. Everything is run by the slide deck. So all you need to do is open the slide deck that's in every single set of modules. So in this case, functions and graphs. If you open it up, you have a slideshow. Your job is to work from the top to the bottom. Do everything on the slide as you go. So for example, if you were to get off the scene and say, ooh, I want to get started. I've already logged into Delta Math. I've already logged into Edpuzzle. What do I do first? Go to slide number 1. Click the big circle and it'll take you right to Edpuzzle. And that's your instructional component. So it gives you, it's me giving you instruction, and you'll notice these dots down here at the bottom are questions. So it'll stop and it'll question you from time to time. So that is worth 10 points a week. Just getting all of the all the Edpuzzles done. So all the little green circles. The other piece of the puzzle is Delta Math. Now you'll notice this says evaluate functions level 2. When you go to the circle, the blue circles, it'll take you to Delta Math. Now, unlike Edpuzzle, where it takes you right to the video you need to go to, Delta Math only takes you into Delta Math. But as you can see, it shouldn't be hard to find what you need to do. it says evaluate functions level 2. If I go back over here, say, oh, I get that done. What's the next thing? Determine if a set of points is a function. Okay, determine if a set of points is a function. So you just work your way down. The goal here is do the instruction, do the practice.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many?
Who am I talking to? Am I? There you go.
Yeah. How many questions are on the first like module on Delta Math? It's a quiz, I think.
Okay. Hold that thought. I'll be right with you on that. Okay. That's a great question though. So Edpuzzle. So you do the instruction, do the practice. Do the instruction, do the practice. A little more practice, instruction, practice, instruction, practice. Here's something that some folks think, oh, this would be a great idea. Why don't they just watch all the videos first? Bad idea, because they're paired up with instruction, then practice it. Show it, do it, show it, do it. I highly recommend doing that. Don't try doing all of the Delta Math first or all of the Edpuzzle first. Work it just like it's laid out for you. And all the notes are also provided. So they're right there. Now, that's a great question. So let's go and dig in a little bit more specifically to Edpuzzle and Delta Math. Over here in Delta Math, you'll notice this one says 098 functions graphs assessment. Okay, so that one, where do you do that one? When it says functions graphs assessment. Does that make sense? Everything else is practice. So if you go to Delta Math, you'll notice this one requires you to complete 4 problems for this skill. The next one, you're required to do 4 problems for the skill. So on average, each one of the little blue circles represents anywhere from 2 to 4 problems per skill set. Okay. Now, the test or the assessment is timed, and it's basically 1 or 2 of every one of these as a test. So you practice, 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 practice. When you're done, the assessment is do 1 of everything, basically. Okay. The other thing to note about the Delta Math is it is an infinite practice. You can get as many wrong as you wish, and it makes absolutely no difference. Okay. Now, the ideal thing is, it'd be nice if you did 4 problems and got 4 right. That would be really cool. But if you are doing this and you get some wrong, it's okay. Because as soon as you get a wrong answer, it will give you the solution and show you how to do that exact problem that you did. Additionally, if you still need more help than that, you can show the solution or show example. It'll give you an example to follow that matches exactly what I'm asking you to do. Or there's a help video that will walk you through how to do what you're supposed to do. So the whole point of the Delta Math is if you want to get 100% or an A, do it till you get 100%. That's it. Do it as often as you want. Do it as much as you want. It's practice. So practice thoroughly. Now, when it comes test time, when it becomes test time, you'll notice this is timed. And I have to go through and I would have to do each problem. There's 1 of each of these problems that I have to do. If you look, the problem is exactly the same as the practice you did. Like, I'm not trying to trick you guys, okay? The tests, the assessments are literally the exact same as the practice because each practice problem is randomly generated. So as long as you have done the instruction, you have worked out your practice, you should be well prepared for your test. So it really leads one to the other, to the other, to the other. All right, that's the way the setup works. And everything is right here. What do I do first? Link, go there, do it. Link, go there, do it. Link, go there, do it. Yada, 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 till you get to the end and it tells you when to do the test. Please do not start the test until you intend to, because as soon as you open it, the clock starts ticking. Okay? Now, I will tell you if you have any issues, you're taking a test, somebody pulls the fire alarm, let me know. We'll address it at that point because I can make some adjustments on my end. Okay? So, my goal is that you are successful. The other thing about the Ed puzzle, you have to answer questions through the Ed puzzle. If you get them wrong, you get them wrong. If you don't like the grade you got at the end, email me and say, Mr. Moore, I need BPA relations and functions reset, please. I will go in, I will reset your Ed puzzle. You will have to watch the whole video again, but you can answer all the questions again. So thus far for the week, you can get 100% of the Delta math just by working at it, 100% of the Ed puzzle just by working at it. And if you have to rewatch or redo, you can. The discussion is real easy. You just have to participate. That only leaves the test, which again matches the practice. All right. With that in mind, you will work to the end. Then once you're done with that module, you go to the next module. So functions and graphs due the 31st. You'll notice I put the Zoom links here. The discussion links are here with dates. There is one practice submission that's in the slideshow. You'll see it when you get there. This right here, it says Ed Puzzle week 1, week 2 checkpoint. What this is just a reminder so that it should show up on your to-do list that's over here. Do not count on the to-do list. By the time it shows up in the to-do list, because we have 2-week sections, by the time it shows up in the to-do list, you should already be to-doing it. Okay? Do not wait for it to show up here. Some people are like, I just do it when it shows up in the to-do list. No, please walk through the modules one right after the other. Okay. And literally that's it. Equations, inequalities, systems, we go right on through. I will tell you when we get down to polynomials and more quadratics, you'll notice there are 3 weeks here and there are 3 weeks here because that's the hardest part of the class. Okay. So I give you an extra week to do that. All right. So I try to build it in. I've taught this class for, I don't know, 10 years or more. So I kind of have a pretty good flow on it, and I've taught it remote for, this is my 3rd semester now. So we pretty well got the bugs worked out on it. That's what I have for you guys today. Give me questions. What do you got? What didn't I talk about? What's not clear? You can either put it in the chat or you can talk to me about it. Either way.
Mr. Moore, you kind of cut out whenever you said how we were going to structure it on a weekly basis as far as having meet.
Oh, good call. That was during the microphone issue. Thank you, Mr. Goforth. Basically, we're going to meet every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. You'll notice it's 5:24 right now. I really would like to be offline by about 5:30 or 5:45. Okay. I am here to help you. The previous 2 times I've done this class, I've done it as a full online class. So if you are a person that likes the full online experience, you have everything you need in the Canvas to do it that way. Why are we making it a mandatory show up? Because we're encouraging students that have trouble managing their time to manage their time correctly. Okay. Once we get underway, once we get going, I'm really hoping that maybe Wednesday night becomes check in. Yeah, Mr. Goforth, I looked at your stuff. It's looking pretty good, man. You have a good week. Keep after it. Maybe I say, hey, Ashton, I noticed you had a little trouble with this one. Do you want to work with this one? Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So for the first couple weeks, guaranteed mandatory, but keep an eye on your emails and keep an eye on check-ins because I'd like to give you as much freedom as you wish without letting you fall behind or have trouble. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Does that answer your question, Caleb?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
I have question.
Yes, ma'am.
So like how long it will like take each slide? Like for example, if I want to do like a slide today
Okay.
with the watching the practice and doing the delta math and the it puzzle, like how long time it will take? Like, you know, if I want to do like, you know,
Yep.
everything in the slide.
It will vary a little bit. But let's take a look. So if I do this slide right here, 6 minutes for the ed puzzle, 6.5 minutes. Most ed puzzles are somewhere between 4 and 9 minutes long. There's a couple in there that are like 12 or maybe 13, okay? But as a general rule, that part should only take you about what it says or a little longer because there are questions in it. Then you have for every delta math, again, it's about 3, 4, 5 problems. It all depends on how long it takes you
Oh,
to get
oh,
those
okay.
2, 3, 4 correct. All right. And so that really more boils down to how practiced are you? How long has it been since you've been in math? Yada, yada, yada. When I put them together, each slide is a half hour of work in my brain for the average person. Okay. Each slide, half hour of work in my brain for the average person. Honestly, if you're pretty okay at Algebra 1 or remember a little bit of Algebra 2 from high school, this slide will take 15 minutes. Does that make
right.
sense, guys?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
For
let
the
me
test.
let me tell you, if you are working on any delta math and you miss more than 3 in a row, if you're missing more than 3 in a row on any delta math, and you've looked at the question and you've looked at the help video, stop and email me because no good math happens when you're frustrated. Okay? Stop, email me. Please include what you're having trouble with, whether it's a picture or typed or written or whatever. And I'll bet you that I can get you going real fast. Keep that frustration low, keep that momentum moving forward, and it'll be a lot easier and you'll be a lot happier doing it that way. Do not hesitate to email or I think of also, on the homepage is my cell phone number because we're adults. We get by through text. Okay. So another good question. Any other questions? So what happens if I accidentally do or click the assessment? All you do is you email me, say, Mr. Moore, I was kind of dumb. I haven't done the assessment, but I clicked on it accidentally. I'll reset it for you. And I'll be happy to do that. So if you want to, I can reset that for you if you'll email me right after. I will tell you this, I am male, so I forget everything immediately. If you want me to do anything, you email me, I read the email, I do the thing because it's like the bell and the cat, okay? Email, do the thing, move on with life. It's off my plate. If you tell me something, it's gone, okay? So like this, poor Matt, he's gonna have to email me because I'm gonna forget by the time we log out. So email is the way. Any other questions, guys?
Because you
Yes,
said
I have a question.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm gonna go with Jessica, then we can go with, I'm pretty sure that's Zainab. Yeah,
So quick question. So like I don't get off from work till 5. Sometimes I'll get off like a little bit early. What if like I don't get on till like 5:05 or like 5:10? Is that okay, or is that like an attendance issue?
that's fine, especially Jessica, if I know that that's the case.
Okay.
Let's say you get off on Wednesday, say, oh man, it's 5 after and I just got out the door. I'm running late. Shoot me an email. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, it's like work rules. It's like everything else. Hey boss, I'm running 5 minutes behind. All right.
Okay.
you know, because again, we're adults. That's the way it works.
Okay.
Zainab, did you have a question?
Yeah, because this said the assessment is timed. So
Yes.
how long is it?
It's about 2 hours. And I think, well, I said 181 minutes, so that's almost 3 hours. And I think it's only like 20 some questions. The time limit is not to make it tough. You should have plenty of time. The time limit is just so that you start it at a time, you do it, you get it done, you turn it in, okay? It's more of a, once you start, please finish it up. It's also not, oh, I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to go look it up on Google. Now I'm going to do this. And I'm going to go look it up on Google. Okay. That's, let's be honest. I teach teenagers, guys. I know the drill. All right. So just, you know, the time limit is just there to keep everybody a little honest.